Hello everyone, this is Ryan Langston and this is my discussion thread 3 of getting started with the use of aircraft. On this slide I'm showing the initial purchase price of different aircraft. Chose the new versions and a remanufactured version of an aircraft. It shows the Piper M600, the TBM 960, the Epic E1000GX, and a Nextant G90XT. The G90XT is a refurbished aircraft. All of these aircraft are turboprop engines. The initial purchase price, the cheapest one is the refurbished aircraft, a little over $3 million, whereas the highest purchase price is a little over $5 million. So it's not as expensive as other aircraft on the city analysis Excel spreadsheet. But I like the idea of the newer aircraft just for the longevity of owning aircraft and how long it will last. And then for the trips that the COO is taking, it's only a 300 nautical mile trip, so it doesn't need to reach really high altitudes. Time is of the essence for him. He values his time. So these aircraft will more than meet the need of that. So I did just to show the chart with the different aircraft again for one way 300 nautical mile trip, and each aircraft takes around an hour, a little over an hour for some, but I think the least one was the TBM 960 was 1 hour, whereas the slowest one was only a little over an hour, 1.3 hours, which is about an hour and 22 minutes to be exact. So it's really not that big of a savings time wise using the TBM 960, but an hour flight time is not a bad flight time for any one of these aircraft. See, I found this chart interesting because the TBM 960 was the most expensive aircraft and it has the cheapest direct cost of all the aircraft, whereas the refurbished, remanufactured Nextant G90XT had the highest direct cost for a 300 nautical mile trip. So over the years of owning this aircraft, it might actually be more expensive to own this aircraft and operate it as compared to the TBM 960 in the long run. So the rest of them, around $700 per hour for the 300 nautical mile trip, to 650 for the TBM 960 and a little over 700 for the Epic E1000. All those were relatively close together. Okay, so available payload with maximum fuel. So this would be like what they can carry for cargo and passengers. So the Piper M600, a little over 400 pounds, whereas the Epic E1000 had the highest payload of a little over 900 pounds. So it should easily carry the COO. But then if the aircraft were used for other uses, there would be available payload. And most of the aircraft with full fuel. The Piper M600 would have to fly with less fuel to be able to carry more than probably 2 passengers in it. So that would be important, and also in choosing an aircraft. Okay, so maximum range of the aircraft with full fuel. The TBM 960 has the highest with a little over 1,500 miles, and the Epic E1000 has the least with a little over 1,200 miles. But regardless, this is more than enough miles or range for the aircraft for a 300 nautical mile trip. But this chart was kind of important because if by chance the aircraft were used for personal use or other business trips besides this 300 nautical mile trip, then this would give you an idea of how far the aircraft could fly for other uses. See, Aaron Wilson outlines in our textbook that there are There's an aircraft use policy covering 5 areas that should be addressed when owning an aircraft for businesses. This helps to keep down trouble in the company with disputes or fully, just so that everybody fully understands what is the use of this aircraft. So he had, his 5 points were how the aircraft is to be used, who can use it, how the aircraft is scheduled, special cases, and operating restrictions. The first and most important is the reason that this aircraft is getting purchased is for Aaron Wilson, the chief operations officer for this fictitious company. So his scheduling is priority. So his schedule comes first before everybody else. But then I did have a list of people that could use the aircraft as well would be the chief executive officer, the chief financial officer, presidents, and corporate counsel, to name a few of the people. They could have priority over, say, pleasure trips. If they have a business trip and Aaron Wilson doesn't need it, then they could use it for the business trip. And then if it's not used for a business trip on a weekend or a week for days at a time, then it could be scheduled for pleasure trips, for vacations, or whatever somebody wanted to use it for other than business. Um, so that would be the who can how the aircraft is to be used is supposed to be primarily used for business, and then who can use it, and then how the aircraft is scheduled. We could have a digital calendar where we could see the scheduling. Everyone can have access to the calendar and see where the schedule is, who has it scheduled, and any available dates that they would like to block the aircraft. But also have keep in mind that if Aaron Wilson has a sudden trip that he needs to go on and use the aircraft, then their trip is getting canceled. And that would be an easy way to schedule the aircraft. Okay, so the parameters I chose were primarily dealing with the cost and the time saved with the aircraft, the use of the aircraft. Both are valuable. Time is valuable, and then not having to spend as much money on an aircraft helps keep the profitability of the company up. The King James Bible in Matthew 25:29 says, "For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath." So this verse applies to this presentation because this company has been blessed financially, um, where they can afford an aircraft to use for business expenses, but then also they should be able to use it for personal pleasure expenses as well. And it's if they continue to um, follow God's will for their company, then God can continue to bless them and help the business to continue to grow. And then this is my presentation on getting started with the use of an aircraft. Thank you.